coordination between the fire department and the police department have really been good. So
how much has that TransGuide, all these pictures that we're able to look at, how much has that helped?
TransGuide's a big help. We're able to keep an eye on all the really bad spots on the freeways and the expressway areas in San Antonio. So that's been a big help to us as far as traffic control and getting officers to where we need them.
Are police concerned about nightfall? Right now, you know, we can see everything pretty clear with the light, but are you worried about nighttime coming? Are there any special plans or procedures?
Until I talk to the people at the Emergency Operations Center, I couldn't tell you that. I can tell you that that's always a concern, but hopefully we're going to have enough barricades out and high water notices to let people know.
If people will just read them, right?
If people would just pay attention. And once again, if you're going into a low area and you do not see any signs, don't let that make you think that it's safe. It could still be unsafe. We just haven't gotten to that area yet, or we haven't notified of that area. So that's something to be aware of.
All right, thanks very much again. That is Al Ballou, Police Department's Public Information Officer. We're going to be checking back in with him to find out more on that River Road area and when they might open that. We also wanted to mention and show you on the screen where some of the Red Cross centers are if you need some help, and some people do. Leon Valley Elementary on the northwest side, Kitty Hawk, northeast side, Schertz Community Center out there in Schertz, New Braunfels High School, and Fraser Elementary, as well as Highlands, Edison, and Spring Branch Middle Schools. All those are places that you can get some help or shelter if you need it. 224-5151. And earlier we had shown you Darlene Dorsey. She was showing you people who were trying to get out of their homes because it was creeping up into and we've talked to people on the phone, creeping up into their homes, so they need a place to go. And we are going to now look at a report that Darlene Dorsey filed earlier on just how bad it is on the north side.
The rushing water moved in quickly, tossing over everything in sight. Even these cars were pushed aside as high water barged into this convenience store. Eddie Torres came back to get the van he left stranded in the road.
Like that. It happened so fast. You know, it just caught me off guard. I said, oh man, gotta get out of this water.
When flooding moved into this neighborhood, some people moved out.
15, 30 minutes, it was all the way up. My husband was, you know, up to here.
From here, Gina Stanley isn't sure where she will go, but it will be higher ground. Firefighters tried to keep others from driving into harm's way, but this woman says a higher power kept her safe.
It would have been easy to have been flipped off. Just the Lord's graciousness that allowed my car just to stay still.
Again, that number you're seeing right there is for the latest road information across the state, but there's a whole lot of them closed, including many of the interstates and interchanges here in San Antonio. George, what is the latest and how many more inches? How about now officially, what have we had at the airport, or do you know?
I have not heard the official tally from the airport, but we have reports from weather watchers. We had a weather watcher in Bulverde that said we had 17.5 inches of rain. The airport tends to get less rain than a lot of these areas when they're reporting figures actually come in, but we'll certainly check on that and get that figure for you. And as you're looking at radar right now, you'll see it's east of San Antonio, moving in a north-northeasterly direction is the last wave for right now of heavy showers and thunderstorms. So folks in those areas, and you got to kind of look at the screen and pick out the area where you're at and see how it compares to this picture, but those are the areas that are getting the heavy showers right now. Everyone else getting a bit of a break. And the thing you need to be aware of is that there still is a lot more moisture out there. We still have that cold front sitting off to our west. Tropical Storm Madeline, which has been one of the moisture supplies for this system, has now turned into a hurricane and is continuing to be a problem on the western side of Mexico. So the moisture supply for us is still there. What will help cut that off is if that cold front moves through, and it looks like that's not going to happen until sometime tomorrow. So we're still right in the bullseye of more shower activity.
You mentioned the rain at the airport. We also wanted to mention earlier, a few hours ago, we had said that there were no flights canceled. Now we are being told that there are some flights being diverted to Austin and other airports. If you're expecting some flight in or you have a flight out, you can call the airline's toll-free number. But there are some flights that have been diverted around San Antonio because of all this.
And right now, Tangi Patton is at the emergency office, the headquarters here in San Antonio, with the very latest. They've been talking about having a news conference at the Emergency Management Center. Tangi, what did they have to say? What's the word?
Deborah, they're still waiting for everyone to arrive. Now, a number of high-ranking officials are in the basement in the operations center right now, but we are still waiting to hear. The news conference was scheduled for 3:30. They have pushed it back now to 4:15, so we're still waiting to find out from city officials what's going on. I can tell you they have upped the number of calls. They've reported some 266 calls now into police and fire, people in trouble in these low water crossings throughout the city. 3 people confirmed dead. 1 still missing is all they have word of right now. So again, 3 people confirmed dead, 1 still missing. The word they're asking us repeatedly to get out from here is do not leave your home unless you absolutely have to. Stay home unless it's an emergency situation. But probably within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll see some of these officials coming upstairs to give us more information. We'll be standing by, and we'll bring you the very latest as soon as we have it.
All right, Tangi, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're only at what, a couple hundred yards from us, and you look a little wet. Just getting across there, did you get stuck in it?
Yeah, Randy, even just walking, I had an umbrella and a rain jacket, and still just walking down the street. When it comes down, it's coming down, and I can look outside and tell you right now, downtown, if anything, it may be drizzling, but that's about it. 5 minutes from now, we can talk, and it may be pouring, because that's been the situation just from here downtown in the last hour. It hit and miss. It comes and it goes. But needless to say, most of us who've been here today have gotten wet at least a few times.
Well, you still look good. Thanks,
That's
Tangi.
a high praise indeed coming from you, Randy.
Tangi Patton, who is live at the old fire department headquarters downtown, that in the basement of that, they turn the emergency operations center and all the high-tech stuff when it happens.
I mentioned that yesterday we moved into a new house, and of course we couldn't find an umbrella anywhere. It's packed in one of the mini boxes. So
A hint, they don't come with the houses.
no, we have
you gotta
one.
bring your...
It's there. We'll find it, next July.
Yeah, when it stops raining. That's when those things always show up.
I understand now we're going to take a look at some cancellations. Is that right? Right. Okay. Events, most of these school-related. The marching contest at Canyon High School in New Braunfels has been rescheduled for Monday. They've had a lot of rain in Comal County. 20 inches is what Bill Dante told us last. So it's a real washout up there. Randolph High School's homecoming dance is canceled, as are other...
At least for tonight. I think some of these we're calling cancellations, may be postponements. But just in case you're at home crying, check our website at KMOL.com for that.
Some of the football games that have been canceled tonight are going to be played on Monday, 2 of which I have in front of me. Jefferson versus Brackenridge will be played Monday evening. MacArthur versus Roosevelt will be played Monday evening.
And that's going to depend on what's left of those fields, where we've seen just an incredible amount of rainfall that's sitting out there.
Hadn't even thought about the condition of the fields.
Yeah, well,
after all this.
Well, because it's too early to worry about that now, but it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be a problem. Bill Dante is going to tell us now just how much more we can expect over the next few hours.
Well, it looks like just on the next probably, I'd say 8 to 12 hours, we could easily see 3 to 5 inches of rain in the area. And as George just mentioned, the bad news is that Tropical Storm Madeline, that is responsible for all the moisture coming on up, has now been upgraded to a hurricane and moving toward the northeast, which would pull it into the coast of Mexico. Normally, when this happens during the summertime, we're excited because we're going to get some rain and moisture, but it looks like that Madeline could slide up into the Bay of Cortez, and that would only bring more moisture into south central Texas. Now, the possibilities, we have this strong frontal system that I mentioned earlier. We know it's been coming down. We've been waiting for it. We were excited about it, and we were looking for those temperatures to drop down on Sunday. And there was a chance of rain that went into the forecast starting as of early yesterday. This frontal system is coming on down. It is strong enough to help push some of this moisture away from us. Matter of fact, just during the last 30 minutes, the city of Houston went under a flash flood watch with the possibilities of this frontal system being able to push a lot of that moisture away from central Texas and into the southeastern corner of the state. And then they would be the ones under the flash flood watch. But I don't see any relief of rainfall, at least for the next 24 hours in and around the south central Texas as the moisture continues to come on up. If we can take a look at the Doppler radar, you'll see what's going on in and around San Antonio right now. There is a little reprieve for the majority of the city, but at the same time, we still have some heavy showers in the northeastern quadrant and continuing right on up into our metro area and into the area where the heaviest rainfall has been falling since midnight, which is up around New Braunfels. But at the same time, they're getting 20 inches, but we're still getting anywhere from 5 to 8 inches of rain. Randy?
All right, thanks, Bill. We want to take you now live to the news conference we've been talking about at the City Emergency Operations Center. Tangi Patton is there, and I understand we are the only news station to bring it to you live. Tangi?
That's right, Randy. We're coming to you live from the Emergency Operations Center, and our Mayor Pro Tem, Raul Prado, is here about to make a statement to the citizens of San Antonio. We'll go to him live now.
Thank you very much. As everyone knows, we're kind of in a state of emergency all across San Antonio. Let me first thank the media for keeping the open lines of communication. The staff is here, and I'll be introducing them with the city manager to bring you up to date as to what's been going on in our city, and especially in how we've been servicing citizens. Let me first also commend the various school districts around the city and the county who have postponed or canceled their games, getting the kids home and parents home safely. We'd also like to ask employers who may have their businesses open today to seriously consider allowing their employees to get home. We don't know exactly what the weather is going to do, but we expect another wave of showers, some more rain, so the situation is going to get worse. So everyone really needs to stay at home. I'd like to introduce the city manager, Mr. Alex Briseño, who will let us know exactly what is going on as far as city services and other issues are concerned. Ms. Briseño?
Remind everyone, we are live.
Good afternoon. We do have a serious situation, and I want to first of all express my appreciation to all the employees, city employees out there who are helping our citizens out in the street. We want to ask everybody to stay off the streets. I tell you, the water is unbelievable. You just can't tell what it's going to do. We've experienced anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of rain so far since about 6 this morning. Predictions call for another 5 to 8 inches of rain from what we've heard between now and midnight. We're going to brief you all in a moment on a service-by-service basis in terms of what the status is and the concerns that we have. One of the overriding concerns is with our major flood control system with Alamos Creek behind Alamos Dam and then into the San Antonio River. The tunnel, which goes under downtown, is operating at full capacity. And it's working well, but we are still being overwhelmed with the volume of water, and we'll be talking about what we're going to be doing to relieve that in a moment. It is a serious situation. If there's no reason for you to be on the street, just stay home and keep posted in terms of the various warnings and information that, as Mayor Pro Tem Prado mentioned, the media have been very helpful in communicating that to our citizens. We're lucky that it's Saturday and it's not a work day and a school day. It's a good chance to stay home and enjoy some family life. What I'd like to do is ask John German, our Director of Public Works, to give us a briefing on the drainage situation.
Yes, thank you, Alex. We're lucky that we have Alamos Dam that was built in the 20s and the tunnel, which has just recently been finished. If we didn't have that, we would have even more problems with flooding all over the city, particularly in the downtown area. The Alamos Dam, the water level is just 6 to 8 feet below the top of the dam. We're having to do some things to manage the flow of the water into and out of that dam. When we open the gates a foot or so, we're going to increase the volume by 25% in the river downstream, and we intend to do that shortly. So there will be flooding in the River Road area, likely some flooding in basements along the river in the downtown area, and then some impact on further downtown. So that's the most serious situation we have to deal with at this point.
When you say shortly, do you have an idea of how long from now that could be?
Well, they're actually taking steps now to begin to open the gates 1 more foot, and that impact will be probably in the next 10, 15 minutes in the River Road area.
What's the situation with the entrance to the tunnel at Josephine? We were there, and there was a lot of debris and everything, and some people were speculating that it was not working properly, that somehow it was jammed up and not enough water was going down that tunnel.
It's working very well. In fact, it's taking all the water it can handle. It's a 30-foot diameter tube under the city. If it weren't there, we'd be in big trouble. But it's the volume of water is more than it was originally designed for. We had a big, heavy rain in the area between the tunnel inlet and the Alamos Basin, say the Broadway area, and that water is not contained. It just has flowed on into the river. And so that's the problem. And when we turn more water loose from Alamos Dam, then we'll just add to the problem. So
in a moment we'll be available to answer questions. I think we'd like to do is go through and get a full report. Fire Chief Robert Ojeda is here, and he's going to give us a report on the fire departments and the swiftwater rescues and our casualties. Chief?
Yes, this is really a serious state of emergency. We have already experienced 3 deaths related to the water that San Antonio has received. We have 3 confirmed deaths. We have 1 pretty good confirmed missing individual in the Bassie 281 area. The deaths have occurred out in the Wiedner IH-35 area, also Lock Hill, Selma, Wurzbach, and then in the Dreamland, Vance Jackson area. We are asking people to stay home. We have been monitoring the Doppler radar. We see some clearing occur, and then just immediately we'll have just a onslaught of rain come up. It seems like it's developing right over the city. So if you're monitoring the radar and you see that there's some clearing, don't let that deceive you, because it's a serious situation out there where these storms are developing right over San Antonio. So we're asking people to stay home, not only for their safety, but also to provide access for our fire units, who have responded to over 265 water rescues since 6 o'clock this morning. So they're very busy out there. That's not taken into consideration also the fire calls associated with the lightning strikes, the normal fire calls that would occur on a typical Saturday afternoon, along with the typical EMS calls and all the other fire calls that we need to respond to. So we had over 265 calls just related to the water itself. So we have that number of calls being pushed on top of our normal responses that we would make on a typical Saturday.
I just have to ask, are your trucks having any trouble getting through? I know, cars and four-wheel drive vehicles are too.
Well, they are having trouble negotiating through roadways, of course. If the roadways are closed to normal traffic, we assume that they're closed to fire traffic also, so therefore they're having to use alternate routes. And because of that, we're experiencing trouble negotiating through those themselves because of the traffic that we're experiencing out there.
Chief, I have to ask you too, are the people at River Road, do you know if everyone has been evacuated there?
The last report I had was about half of that area was evacuated already. We have concentrated on the most vulnerable areas of River Road that are susceptible to being flooded, and we have worked backwards, and we're asking everyone in that area from Mulberry on the north, and St. Mary's on the on the west, IH 281 on the south, and of course the River Road on the east side, to evacuate that area. I think we've got it concentrated with police and fire to the point where we're getting everyone out of there in that particular area.
You mentioned the shelters.
We have a number of shelters that have been opened with coordination between us and Red Cross. Highlands High School at 3118 Elgin, Edison High School 701 Santa Monica, Leon Valley Elementary 7111 Hebner Road, Kitty Hawk Middle School at 840 Old Cinnamon Trail, the Salvation Army here on Elmira and on Nolan are also open for anyone who needs assistance at this time.
Next, we're going to have Deputy Chief Manuel Longoria talk about the police department and their activities. Chief.
Since early this morning, we've responded to over 2,400 calls. 81 of them have been major accidents, and 338 have been minor accidents. The problem we're having, and we want to stress to the citizens, somebody mentioned a four-wheel drive can't get to the low water crossing. Their citizens believe that they can do it, and we have countless vehicles right now underwater. And even now as we speak, citizens are still going around barricades. We have doubled our traffic. I held over the traffic people this morning, and then I had the 311 people come on. I have more traffic people coming on at 6 p.m., so we'll have about 80 to 100 traffic officers out there. We don't want to take away from patrol availability, so our patrol officers are still assigned to the substations, and their main responsibility is respond to calls from the citizens. So we have close to 100 officers out there just direct strictly to traffic, and we are catching, regretfully, some people going around the barricades.
Besides going around barricades, can somebody be issued some sort of citation just for kind of being, I hate to say stupid, for swimming in this or trying to drive through it?
Yes, sir. The citations are issued for going around the barricades, and that's a $200 fine.
Okay.
Let me just ensure the citizens who may be watching that additional crews from the city, police, fire, public works have been called. You just need to help us by staying at home, staying off the roads. A number of my colleagues have also been here at the center and across the city monitoring the situation. The mayor of the city, Mayor Peake, has also called in. We're keeping advised of all the activities of today. So citizens, rest assured that your city's working to protect you. Just help us by staying at home. Councilman Flores and Councilman Garza are here with me. Anything you'd like to say?
Just again to stress what Mayor Pro Tem Prado has stressed is if you don't need to be out, don't go out. If you're in an area that's safe, stay there. If you're in an area that might become unsafe, then you need to move, and you need to do this now.
I just want to say I know there's areas that are without water at this time. We're working on that, and our main concern is to keep people at home, and we'll be addressing the problems where people are without water or other services continuously.
And that brings my next question. We've had a number of calls into News 4 about people not having water. Is the water supply safe in all areas?
We have representatives SAWS and CPS coming to the center as we speak. One situation, John, you might want to address the situation by Ingram.
Yes, we've talked to SAWS about a water supply problem in the Ingram Road area. They know what the problem is. They're fixing it now and should have water back on shortly. That's the only area of the city, according to SAWS, that has any kind of water service problem at this time.
So if people out there, because they'll be calling us, that didn't have water this morning, if their water comes back on, it is safe to drink?
Yes, there's no problem with the water itself. It's just the service lines.
All right, gentlemen,
I just want to say that the senior officials will be here along with the city council through the duration, so we'll be keeping the media briefed as necessary. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Randy and Deborah, you just heard we're here at the Emergency Office Management downtown, hearing from city officials. Let me mention these Red Cross shelters again for you one more time because this list has just been released again. Highlands High School.
And eventually, south of San Antonio, some of it, of